In the 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Cameron Fry focused on a famous painting called A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte. The painter, Georges Seurat, used an artistic technique called pointillism, in which small distinct dots of color are applied in patterns to form a bigger picture. Each dot that stands alone is insignificant, but when the dots work with all the other dots around it, a beautiful painting emerges. Humans are like the colorful dots of a pointillist painting. When we exclude ourselves from the rest, we live, we die, and we are forgotten in our own insignificance. As humans give up their exclusiveness in favor of working together, they become more significant together. The history of humanity shows a gradual progression from the small, indigenous families of hunter-gatherers to the large nations of the world. Old kingdoms that seemed vast in their time have been proven small and insignificant by the big picture of history. Consider the example of the many Saxon kingdoms of England. In 500 AD, the Anglo-Saxons would never have dreamed of becoming a united kingdom. In contrast, the English in the year 2020 would never dream of being divided from one another. Disagreements of the past, which once seemed impossible to overcome, have become rather ridiculous when compared to the uniting factors of the present. While human unification in of itself is a beautiful end, some of the means that humans have used to get there have been dark. Many of the nations we know of today have been the result of strong tribes or kingdoms using their military power to conquer weaker tribes or kingdoms and then forcing them to assimilate with their own cultures and peoples. This was the case in Old England. The Danes from Scandinavia conquered all the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms except for Wessex. Wessex held off the Danes and eventually conquered all the territory of England, thus forever uniting all Anglo-Saxons under one kingdom. History shows that many modern nations were formed in a similar manner, with centuries of war, conquest, and assimilation. Although conquest and assimilation are the most natural motivations for humans to consolidate and unite their groups, there are better motivations for all of humanity to come together. History shows that another motivation for human unity is the bond formed between two groups when they share a common enemy or conflict. Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry in 1964, opened the imagination of humanity by exploring what the potential of humanity could be if all humans had banded together and started to explore worlds beyond our solar system. According to the Star Trek storyline, all humans united as a planet and as a species after first contact with an advanced extraterrestrial species from the planet Vulcan. Through first contact, humans learned that the galaxy was full of new threats that were non-human and more advanced. Once humans learned to build spaceships that could travel at warp speed, humans began to form alliances with alien species as a defense against antagonistic outsiders, including Klingons, Romulans, the Borg, and more. Although human nature would justify Gene Roddenberry's vision for a united humanity, our world has not yet had first contact with an advanced extraterrestrial species, and there is so far no common conflict that could unite all humans as a species. Christianity provides a third motivation for human unity. As Jesus Christ ascended into heaven at the completion of his mortal ministry, two angels declared to his apostles, "This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in a like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." Since that time, believers have looked forward to the second coming of Jesus Christ. When Christ comes again, he will come in power and glory to claim the earth as his kingdom. His second coming will mark the beginning of 1,000 years of political and spiritual peace. The second coming will be a fearful, mournful time for the wicked, but it will be a day of peace for the righteous. The Lord declared, "They that are wise and have received the truth and have taken the Holy Spirit for their guide, and have not been deceived. Verily I say unto you, they shall not be hewn down and cast into the fire, but shall abide the day. And the earth shall be given unto them for an inheritance, and they shall multiply and wax strong, and their children shall grow up without sin unto salvation. For the Lord shall be in their midst, and his glory shall be upon them, and he will be their king and their lawgiver. Neither Jesus Christ nor his prophets have revealed exactly when he will come again. The hour and the day no man knoweth, neither the angels in heaven, nor shall they know, until he comes. Although Christ's second coming promises human unity and peace, there is no way to know exactly when Christ will return again. If we wait for the natural course of human progression, we may have to wait for several centuries before all of humanity is finally united together as a single planet and species. We don't have to wait for world wars, for alien first contact, or for Christ's second coming. We can take the initiative now to begin the process for the unification of all humans. History shows that in 1787, the 13 states of America took the initiative to draw up a constitution and come together as one country. Following their example, we can petition the United Nations to have a global constitutional convention that will begin the process for the unification of all humans on Earth. Every nation is like a single musical instrument: a trombone, a clarinet, a violin, a drum set, a trumpet. When we decide to bring them all together, we have an orchestra. What would you prefer to listen to for the next several centuries? An independent nation or an orchestra? An independent nation or an orchestra? An independent nation or an orchestra? My vision of the earth is thus. We are divided into insignificant nations because of the ridiculous disagreements that exclude us from everyone else. I look forward to the time when the rest of humanity will also see our divisions as ridiculous and decide to bring all humans together to form the beautiful painting of our species.